Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Sri Guru Samhita, the legend of the Supreme Guru, original in Marathi as Sri Guru Charitra by Sri Gangadhara Saraswati, composition in Sanskrit by His Holiness Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati, also known as Tembe Maharaj. Chapter 8. The power of the Pradosha Puja procedure and the deliverance of the suicidal Brahmins. Salutations to Lord Ganapati. Salutations to Lord Dattatreya. 1. Namadharaka said to Guru Siddha, O Master, I have listened to the detailed description of the greatness of the Gokarna pilgrimage site. Tell me please, how many days did Sripada Sri Vallabha reside there? 2. O Guru, O ocean of benevolence, my mind has been fixed there itself. I am overwhelmed with joy listening to the great legend of the Supreme Guru. 3. Guru Siddha was pleased on hearing Namadharaka's words. He said to his disciple, I shall describe to you in detail his legend. Pay careful attention to my words. 4. The Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha stayed in Gokarna for 3 years, providing divine guidance to all the people there. Then he proceeded to Srishaila in the modern state of Andhra Pradesh. 5. The mere darshan of the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Guru grants people the same merits as that obtained by travelling to all pilgrimage sites. Even the sacred scriptures state that the divine feet of the Supreme Guru are extremely sacred and infinite in legend, and that the devotional service of these divine feet result in the destruction of all mortal sins and afflictions. 6. All the holy pilgrimage places reside in the feet of Supreme Guru. All the sacred scriptures state that the Supreme Guru resides and travels on this earth for the main purpose of blessings all the people of the world and providing them divine guidance. 7. The Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha resided in Sri Shaila for 4 months, granting darshan to his blessed devotees. He took a holy ritual bath at the Nivritti Sangama at the confluence of 2 rivers, and then proceeded to the holy city of Kurupura, also known as Kurugadde today in the modern state of Karnataka. 8. There, in Kurupura, the mighty river Krishna joins with the river Veni and flows on infinitely with extreme force. The legend of the Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha is extensive and great. Such a legend cannot be found anywhere. 9. If I start to describe the legend of Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha, then this text will become too extensive and gigantic. Therefore, O disciple, I shall tell you the legend very briefly. 10. The legends of the places where the Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha resided have spread all over the regions. Now, this Kurupura is famous by the name of Kurugadde. 11. Whoever comes to this holy spot and worship the divine padukas, that is sandals, of the Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha with devotion and respect, such persons will achieve everything they wish for, including children, immense wealth and other forms of prosperity, and they will live in peace. 12. I am not capable enough to describe in complete detail the legend of the Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha, but I shall narrate to you only a small part of his complete history. 13. The Supreme Guru Sripada Sri Vallabha disappeared here in Kurugadde on his own accord and reincarnated again as someone else. It is widely believed that Sripada Sri Vallabha still resides in Kurugadde in an invisible and concealed form. 14. I shall describe to you another reason for his reincarnation. Listen carefully. In that village there was a Brahmin man who was very well versed in all the Vedas. Shastras, and other sacred scriptures. 15. He had a wife by name Ambika. She was a very good, pious, and virtuous lady and a Pativrata, that is, virtuous wife, always engrossed in service to her husband. She was also of glowing character. 16. This lady bore several children who died unfortunately. That was as a consequence of her actions in her previous lives. In order that the children survive, she visited several holy pilgrimage centers. She also performed several ritual duties as described in the sacred scriptures. 17. As fate would have it, as a result of all these pilgrimages and rituals, she bore a son who survived. That child, however, was slow-witted. In spite of it, the lady Ambika looked after her son with great love and affection and raised him well. 18. Since the child was born into a Brahmin family, the couple performed the Upanayan, that's a sacred third ceremony for the child. The Brahmin man tried to teach his son the Vedas and other scriptures. 19. But the dim-witted and stupid boy could not chant even one single mantra, that is hymn, clearly. This was a cause of great concern and sorrow for the scholarly Brahmin. 20. The Brahmin said, Alas, this is my fate. I prayed to all the gods and worshipped them, and this is the son I obtained. Alas, I am ruined completely. My entire ancestral lineage has been ruined. 20. It is impossible to prevent the consequences of one's actions from previous lives. 21. The Brahmin thus lamented in sorrow. He also tried in multiple ways to educate his son and make him into an improved, learned, and intelligent person. He even tried hitting his son with a stick out of despair. Seeing that the good lady Ambika was filled with extreme sorrow, and she said to her husband, 22. She said, O Lord, please do not hit him. It is with great difficulty that I have borne this son, and he has survived. He is our only son. Let him live for a long time. He has survived only because of the kindness of the Supreme Lord. 23. This boy is not destined to have a good education. Please have mercy on the boy and do not hit him. As a consequence of his actions in his previous births, he has been born as a Brahmin, but as a stupid and dim-witted boy. 24. Why do you hit him unnecessarily? If you hit him once again, I am going to end my life right here in front of you. There is no doubt in this statement of mine. She thus made a promise. 25. Hearing his wife's words, the Brahmin cooled down. From that day onwards, the intelligent Brahmin kept quiet and did not interfere with the affairs of his son. He thought to himself that all of these were a result of his bad fate, and he soon became absorbed in other activities. 26. As time passed, the scholarly Brahmin man, still engrossed by the same sorrow and worries about his son, fell sick and finally died. 27. The widow Ambika was plunged into sorrow as a result of her husband's death, as well as because of her stupid son. In addition, the family was very poor, and she had to resort to begging in order to provide some food for herself and her son. Unable to tolerate the situation, she used to scold herself and her son daily. 28. With time, the boy reached a marriageable age. Who would ever give their daughter in marriage to this dim-witted and stupid boy? No family came forward to give their daughter away in marriage to him. Everybody in the community used to admonish him, saying, This boy is such a stupid boy. His mother has to beg other people for food. He eats that food and keeps on wasting his time. 29. The people said to him, You are stupid and brainless. If you cannot do anything else, then at least carry the water pots on your head from the river to people's houses and supply water to them every day. You can at least earn some money in that way. 30. Your life is as wasted as a big rock. You are a fool. You are the reason for the destruction of your entire ancestral lineage. You have brought disrepute to your entire family. All the people used to thus admonish him every day. 31. You fool, listen. Your father was good natured and a great scholar who was famous all around the four different regions. He was an expert in the Vedas, Shastras, Puranas, and the other sacred scriptures. Your birth has brought disrepute to his great name. 32. You fool, you are subsisting on the food that your mother begs from other houses and brings to you. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? You have become the reason for the downfall of all of your ancestors. 33. You have been born and have been living just like a stupid bull. Your life is a complete waste. Instead of living this dilapidated life, it is better if you go fall into the Ganga and end your life. Note, the name Ganga is used to refer to any river or stream. This is out of deference to the mighty and holy river Ganga. 34. Hearing these scornful words uttered by all the people constantly, the poor, dim-witted boy was filled with extreme sorrow and anguish. He went to his mother and said to her, "O mother, I cannot bear to go on living like this. I really want to end my life." 35. People are always scolding me and admonishing me and saying that I am a fool. What is the purpose of having this useless body and mind when I cannot do anything productive? You are suffering a lot in order to raise me and protect me. O mother, it is better that I go anywhere into the forest. 36. Hearing these extremely sorrowful words from her son, the lady Ambika was very unhappy and depressed. Unable to bear her sorrow, she fell down on the ground and wailed in frustration at her predicament. 37. Both mother and son were plunged in sorrow, and they both went towards the roaring waters of river Krishna to end their lives. At that exact time, the Supreme Guru, Sripada Sri Vallabha, who is always a benefactor of the downtrodden, came to that spot for his ritual bath. 38. Both mother and son had darshan of the Supreme Guru and saluted his lotus feet. Overcome with grief, they began to tell him their sorrowful tale. "O Supreme Master, we have decided to end our lives today in these roaring waters of the Ganga." 39. "O Master, please give us permission to die. We know that suicide is very terrible, but we have no choice at all. May we attain a good status after death by your merciful blessings." 40. Hearing these words, the compassionate Supreme Guru, Sripada Sri Vallabha, said to the lady, "O mother, what kind of sorrow has befallen you? It is not right that you commit suicide. What has happened that has led you to this decision? Please tell me." 41. Then the Brahmin lady narrated the sorrowful story of her whole life to the Supreme Guru. She said, "O benevolent Master, please protect us from this terrible calamity." 42. I have been born this son after praying to and worshipping all the gods, after performing numerous sacred rituals, and after going to several pilgrimage centers. 43. I have performed numerous rituals according to procedure. I have performed several fasting rituals as well. In spite of it, this son has been born as dim-witted fool, who is constantly the object of ridicule by the entire community. 44. My husband hailed from a great and reputable Brahmin family. He was extremely proficient in all the Vedas, Shastras, and other sacred scriptures. Lord, this stupid, miserable fool has been born to such a great man. 45. O Supreme Lord, Sripada, you are the guide to all good people. Please bless me so that I do not bear such a child at least in my next birth. Please advise me as to what I should do. 46. You are the ocean of benevolence. You are the vanquisher of misery and depression. I hold on firmly to your lotus feet. Lord, you are my sole refuge. It is only due to my extremely good fortune that I have been able to have the darshan of your lotus feet. These divine feet are the sole protection for people who seek refuge in them. 47. Lord, I have been born in this illusory world called samsara and have experienced innumerable sufferings in it. I have not seen even one iota of happiness in my life. I bore several children, but they all died. 48. Even my great husband passed away, leaving me as a destitute. This miserable and stupid son has survived only to give me more pain and suffering. He is a useless as a bird on a goat. 49. O Lord, you are a generous donor who grants everyone whatever they wish for. O perfect Master, O Lord, kindly listen to my request. I am humbly requesting that in my next birth I bear a good and competent son just like you. 50. I want all people to salute him and regard him with profound respect and fall at his feet. Kindly bless me so that I can bear such a son. Tell me what I should do for that to happen. Please advise me. Saying that, the Brahmin lady fell at the Supreme Guru's feet and saluted him again and again. 51. The lady continued, O Master, I need to attain salvation after bearing such a son. I do not want any more rebirths. I ask that all my ancestors experience supreme bliss for eternity in the heavens. 52. O Lord, I wish for a son who will become a Brahmagnani, that is, profoundly learnt and knowledgeable person who also possesses spiritual wisdom and who realizes Brahman. He should become respected and worshipped by one and all at a very young age itself, just like you. 53. Hearing all the words spoken by the Brahmin lady, the Supreme Guru Sripada Srivallabha said compassionately, O Mother, you perform the puja, that is worship of Lord Shiva, with immense devotion. You will obtain a son who is exactly like Sri Hari, another name for Lord Vishnu. 54. Previously, a Gopika, that is covered lady, performed the puja of Lord Shiva during the Pradoshana time, that is twilight time on the Trayodashi, the 13th day of the lunar fortnight. As a consequence of the ritual procedures, the Supreme Lord Vishnu incarnated in covered home as Lord Krishna. Note, the covered lady referred to in this story is Yashoda, the wife of the covered Nanda, and the foster mother of the Supreme Lord Krishna. 55. Similarly, you perform the puja of Lord Shiva with profound devotion and respect. You will definitely bear a very competent and scholarly son. You will bear this son in your next birth. The blessings of the Supreme Lord will be the primary reason for this great occurrence. 56. Then the Brahmin lady asked the Supreme Guru again, O Master, what kind of ritual did the Gopika perform? How did she perform the puja of the Supreme Lord Shiva? Please describe it to me in detail. 57. I shall also perform the same ritual. I shall perform it according to the same procedures. Saying thus, the Brahmin lady fell at the divine feet of the Supreme Guru Sripada Srivallabha. 58. Then the Supreme Guru said to her, O Brahmin lady, that is the Pradoshana Puja procedure. Perform the puja of Lord Shiva on every Pradosha, that is, twilight time on the 13th day of the lunar fortnight. Saturdays are particularly special. You perform this puja with immense devotion and respect. 59. Such a puja was previously performed by a Gopika, covered lady. This famous story appears in the Skanda Purana, one of the 18 Puranas. The procedures for the worship of the Saguna Lord Shiva have been detailed in that Purana. Note, the Supreme Lord is normally abstract, that is Nirguna, that is without any specific form or qualities. He is also worshipped as Saguna, that is with a specific form and specific qualities attributed to him. 60. The Brahmin lady was very happy on hearing the words of the Supreme Guru. She saluted the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Guru and respectfully said to him again. 61. She said, O Master, kindly narrate this story to me. Lord, you mentioned that the Supreme Lord Vishnu incarnated as Lord Krishna as a consequence of the worship of Lord Shiva at the Pradosha time. Please narrate this extraordinary and novel story to me. 62. By performing such worship and rituals according to the Pradosha Puja procedure, may I be blessed with such a son as well. How did the Gopika perform this puja previously? Please tell me the story. 63. Then the Supreme Guru, Sripada Sri Vallabha, narrated the divine story from the Skanda Purana. Here goes. There was a beautiful and glorious city by the name of Ujjaini in the modern state of Madhya Pradesh. 64. There was a very righteous king by the name of Chandrasena who ruled over Ujjaini. He had a very dear friend by the name of Manibhadra. 65. This Manibhadra was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva. He would worship Lord Shiva with profound devotion and respect and was a strict follower of the puja procedure. He had worshipped Lord Shiva and had been blessed by the Supreme Lord with a divine gem as a boon. 66. That gem glittered on earth with the radiance of a crore of suns. Manibhadra used to always wear that sparkling, magnificent gem around his neck. Note, 1 crore is equal to 10 million or 100 lakhs. 67. That gem was equal in power and radiance to Chintamani, also known as Parasmani or Sparshamani. Its mere touch was enough to turn iron and other base metals into glittering gold. 68. It used to grant him everything he wishes for. Just remembering the gem was enough to grant a person all his heart's desire. The fame and popularity of this divine gem spread far and wide, and kings, princes, and other royal persons used to come from afar to view this magnificent glittering jewel. 69. Some kings came with a friendly attitude, while some other kings came to see the gem just out of curiosity. Some kings came to forcibly take away the gem from him, while some others came to buy it from him, paying any price possible. 70. Some kings would send their royal messenger to persuade Manibhadra into somehow giving them the divine gem. 71. Some kings tried very hard to obtain the gem even by fighting wars for it. Thinking thus, several kings joined forces together and attacked Ujjaini from all sides in the hope of obtaining the divine magnificent gem. 72. That day was a Saturday and also a Trayodashi, that is 13th day of the lunar fortnight. That was the day of the Pradosha Puja. That day the king Chandrasena along with his ministers was peacefully engrossed in the worship of Lord Shiva. 73. He was worshipping the divine linga of Lord Mahakala, that is another name for Lord Shiva, with extreme devotion and pure joy. A lot of cowherd children had come to the temple to see the Shiv Puja along with some elders. 74. Seeing the procedures of the puja, the children made a sankalpa, that is declaration of purpose, that they would also perform the same puja according to those procedures. Since they were all children, it was fun for them to do that. So they began to perform the Shiva Puja in the backyard of the temple using just stones. 75. The cowherd children built a small platform in the yard with stones and imagined that to be the Shiva temple. They considered one stone to be the Shivalinga. Other stone was deemed to be the different ingredients required for the puja. Every item there was just a stone. 76. The children enthusiastically began to play the puja game for fun with the stone linga. They soon became completely involved in the puja. They began to worship the stone Shivalinga in different ways. 77. They gathered some leaves that were strewn around nearby and worshipped the Shivalinga with those leaves instead. They brought some water and offered it to Lord as Naivedya, the ritual offering of food to the Lord. By that time, it was already late. 78. The puja being performed by King Chandrasena had already been completed, but the puja being performed by the children had not yet been completed. The mothers of the children came there and scolded the children thus: "Enough of your puja, it is already late. Let us go home now for food." Most of the children listened to their mothers and left for home. 79. One cowherd boy was so engrossed in the Shiva Puja that he did not hear the noise around him. He did not go home either. His mother came there and hit him angrily. 80. She began to scold him, saying, "It's time for dinner." What are you doing? It is pitch dark here. What sort of a puja is this going on in this darkness? Get up. The boy did not listen to her at all, but was completely engrossed in the puja. 81. Seeing that the boy was disobeying her words, the lady became very angry. She threw away all the stones that were piled up there and destroyed the puja. Then she went home. 82. Seeing the puja completely destroyed, the little boy began to cry uncontrollably and instantly fell on the ground, partially unconscious. 83. He began to contemplate on the stone that was being worshipped as a Shivalinga and decided to end his life right there. Lord Shiva realized what was happening. He was very pleased with the boy's devotion and appeared right there in front of him. 84. The yard transformed into a glorious Shiva temple. The entire yard became a gem-studded platform. The stone linga became a gem-studded, bejeweled Shivalinga shining brilliantly like the sun. The boy regained consciousness as well. 85. Lord Shiva, the consort of goddess Gauri, appeared in his true original form. He helped the boy to stand up, held his hand and said, "My child, ask for any boon that you want." 86. Then the boy said to the Lord, "O Master, O Lord Shiva, my mother has destroyed your puja that I was performing. Please do not be angry at her. Please forgive my mother." 87. The Emperor of all compassionates, Lord Shiva, was extremely pleased upon hearing the child's words. He said to the boy, "Your mother saw my puja with her own eyes at the Pradosha time. In the future, she will become the mother of the Supreme Lord Vishnu in one of his incarnations." 88. That child will become famous as Lord Krishna. These words of mine shall come true. Do not doubt them or try to analyze them. 89. O child, may you attain everything you wish for in your heart with my blessings. You will enjoy all the pleasures of life in this world. Your family lineage will also become very famous and well known. 90. Lord Shiva, the consort of goddess Girija, was very pleased with the boy and thus blessed him with great boons. Then the boy prostrated himself before the Lord. As the boy stared intently with his own eyes, the Supreme Lord Shiva disappeared into the resplendent Shivalinga. 91. That Shivalinga was shining brilliantly like a crore of suns shining together. The temple started glittering radiantly like the rising sun. 92. The kings who had gathered around the city in order to attack it were suddenly filled with a sense of doubt in their minds. All of a sudden, they all discarded their jealousy, hatred, and other negative feelings and became interested in meeting King Chandrasena with good and pure intentions. 93. They decided in their minds, "This is a pure and holy city. Look, it is as if the sun had risen now at this time of the night. That definitely shows how privileged and illustrious the king of this Ujjaini is. How can anyone have hatred and malice towards such a king?" 94. Thinking thus, they sent their royal messengers to King Chandrasena, conveying their desire to meet him as friends. In return, King Chandrasena heartily welcomed all of them with open arms. 95. All the kings met each other with friendship and kinship. Then they asked each other, "How come the sun has risen in the middle of the dark night? Where is this extreme brilliance coming from?" 96. Then all the kings, along with King Chandrasena, were very curious as to what was going on. As they went towards the brilliant light, they saw the gem-studded Shiva temple and was pleasantly surprised. 97. They went inside the temple and had darshan of the divine, resplendent and bejeweled Shivalinga. Then they heard the complete story of what happened there from the cowherd boy and was overwhelmed with joy. They made the cowherd boy the chieftain of all the cowherds with pleasure. They also conferred other titles on him and showered him with several gifts. 98. Later, all the kings returned to their respective kingdoms. King Chandrasena was also devoid of any fear towards himself or his kingdom. O Brahmin lady, these were the fruits of the miraculous and fruitful Shani Pradosha Puja. That is the Pradosha Puja held on a Saturday. 99. The covered boy, the supreme devotee of Lord Shiva, returned home and said to his mother, O mother, the very supreme Lord Vishnu is going to be born to you in your next birth. 100. Lord Shiva has himself told me this and has happily given me a boon. You saw the brilliant camphor-colored Lord Shiva during the Pradosha Puja. The Lord was very happy about it. 101. O mother, I beg the Lord to kindly forgive the mistakes you made. That was my boon. Lord Shiva has mercifully forgiven everything and has granted me these superior boons. 102. Saying thus, the covered boy explained to his mother all that I had transcribed, and everything occurred exactly as the Lord had said it would. When the Supreme Lord Shiva himself is pleased, then what else would be difficult for anyone to attain? Tell me. 103. Thus the covered lady obtained such a great boon just by seeing the Pradosha Puja being performed. The Lord became pleased just by the mere fact that she saw the puja and gave her such a wonderful boon. 104. O lady, if you really desire to have an intelligent and competent son, then perform the puja of Lord Shiva during the Pradosha time without fail. Do not have any doubts about this. You will definitely bear a son just like me. 105. Even though the Supreme Guru, Sripada Srivallabha, narrated all this, the Brahmin lady was still very sorrowful and she kept crying uncontrollably. Then the Lord, Sripada Srivallabha, understood what was exactly in the mind of the Brahmin lady and was pleased. 106. The compassionate Supreme Guru called the Brahmin lady's son to come to him. He placed his hand on the boy and blessed him. Instantly, the boy was transformed into a scholar who was proficient in all the three Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and Samaveda. 107. The Supreme Guru blessed him and said that he would become an expert in the Vedas, Shastras, interpretations, logic, and all the scriptures. Seeing her son chant the mantras, hymns, the Brahmin lady was surprised and astounded. 108. The Brahmin lady was still amazed at the events occurring in front of her. She thought to herself, there is no doubt that the Supreme Guru is the Supreme Lord himself. He has come down to earth in the form of a man in order to deliver his devotees from all the afflictions and sufferings. 109. It was definitely due to the meritorious deeds that I had performed in my previous births that I could obtain the darshan of the Supreme Guru today. Saying thus, she saluted the Supreme Guru every moment. 110. She said to the Supreme Guru, O Master, you are the Supreme Lord. I shall perform the Shiva Puja on every Pradosha without fail. 110. Your words shall never go false. I am positive that I shall bear a son just like you in my next birth. 111. Thinking and deciding thus, the Brahmin lady saluted the Supreme Guru and mentally worshipped him again and again. Then she went back to her village with her son. Thereafter, she started performing the worship of Lord Shiva on every Pradosha. 112. Meanwhile, her son, who was dim-witted and stupid earlier, now became extremely proficient in all the Vedas, Shastras, and all the other sacred scriptures. He became very knowledgeable and a very wise man. He became superior to all the other people in the village and became respected and worshipped by one and all. 113. Later he got married and lived a happy and contented life with children and grandchildren. All this became possible only with the blessings of the Supreme Guru. Whoever is blessed by the Supreme Guru will lead a worthwhile life like the Brahmin son. 114. O Namadharaka, the Supreme Guru, Sripada Srivallabha, thus helped several devotees and grants them all their heart's desires. The Brahmin son led a life complete with happiness and contentment. 115. Thus the wise Guru Siddha explained the greatness of the Pradosha Puja procedure to his devotee Namadharaka. Saraswati tells all the devotees to kindly pay careful attention and happily listen to the narration. Thus ends Chapter 8 in Jnana Kanda in the dialogue between Guru Siddha and Namadharaka, In the text known as the Legend of Narasimha Saraswati, authored by Gangadhara Saraswati in the Marathi language as Sri Guru Charitra and referred to as Sri Guru Samhita, composed in the Sanskrit language by His Holiness Sri Vasudevananda Saraswati. Om Tat Sat. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Mantrahina, Kriyahina, Bhaktihina, Kshamapate.